Hey, good evening, everybody. Thank you for tuning in to this week's episode of According to Sacha Podcast. You know, we're here with you every Thursday night at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And thank you for showing up. And thank you for being here with us every week. So, you know where we are. We're on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and all of the ones that are down below: Spotify, iHeartRadio, Amazon, and the list goes on. So, we do have a special guest tonight who is an extraordinary business and mindset coach, Miss Amber Frelin. And she's going to share with us tonight some of the strategies and techniques and everything in her world to share and open up to you guys tonight. So I want you to stay tuned. I want you to be engaged. I want you to be a part and ask questions and learn and follow her and all that good stuff. And so I don't have a lot of introductions or not introductions, announcements or anything like that. If you follow me already, then you already know I'm somewhere everywhere right now. And one of the biggest events I have coming up is the Be Live movement. It is scaled to the moon. It is one of the largest business summits online there is right now. It starts next week on the 22nd, and it goes all the way to the end of September. And your girl will be speaking, and I will be talking about how to scale your business with events and strategic partnerships. So you want to definitely be a part of it. It's free, but you have to be a part of the group in order to see everything that all of the wonderful speakers are going to talk about. And it's called the Be Live movement. And the link will be all on my page, and definitely get connected and be a part of this whole thing. Other than that, you guys, we're going to go ahead and bring up Miss Amber. But first, I have one video to play, and I'll be right back. Entrepreneurship, small business, is something that everybody would love to do, making their own money. And this is what we will be talking about on According to Sacha. Hi, Amber. How are you?
Amazing. So happy to be here. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. And I'm happy that you're here as well. Thank you for gracing us with your presence. I really appreciate that. And so I just want to kind of dig in. I'm just ready to learn more about you and what you have going on in your world, and for everybody else to know. So I have the one question that I ask everybody, and it is, who is Amber Frelin?
What an awesome question. It's one of those things that is great because I want to just like feel what's in my heart, because I could answer it probably a different way every single day, right?
Yeah.
But the truth is, I'm just a girl that wants more people to live an abundant life being who they truly are deep down.
I love
That's
that.
really bottom line answer.
I
just want more people to be able to have the freedom and the time and the money to do what they want with this beautiful life, and spend time with the people that they love the most, and just wake up every day really pumped and excited about whatever they're doing in the world.
That's awesome. Now, who wouldn't want that? You know, definitely. You know, you want to be in that place of abundance. And I know that you work with a lot of women. When I was reading your bio, and the heart-centered women is what you call it. And just listening to your response just then to the question, it shows exactly, you know, how connected you are with your own heart, and really the empathy that shows over into what you do for so many women. And how did you get started in all of that?
Yeah, what a question. Oh, there's like 15 ways to answer it, because it's like, how far back do we go, right?
Right.
It hasn't been that long of a journey, but I think that when you're an entrepreneur, it feels like lifetimes. Like a couple years feel like a lifetime.
Yeah.
My husband was just playing some old videos that we made a couple years back, and we were kind of like looking back through old things and old teachings that we did, and we looked so different and we acted so different, and there was so much that we didn't know back then. And so it's really cool to watch that. And it's also really shocking because I'm like, that was like 2019. Like, we're only in 2022.
Right.
But to answer your question, I was a nurse for a long time. I had a 13-year-long nursing career. I delivered babies. I took care of moms and babies in those first couple days. I did infusion nursing. So I drove around town. I started IVs. I helped people who were like coming out of surgery. And then I shifted gears into really cool poshy like vitamin IV nursing. And
Yeah.
so that was fun. And I did a lot of different things with that. But I also started to break into business through the network marketing space, which I hadn't even realized I was doing. Honestly, it was like my friend's doing this thing. She's having success. She's having fun. I'm going to do it too. And the story's really crazy because the first couple of days that I was doing that, I went to a home party and my now husband walked in,
Oh.
and the first 30 seconds that we met, and I'm an intuitive and I have a lot of like deep intuitive hits and connection to spirit, and I make decisions from that place a lot of the time, and that was really high at the time. That was 2015. So long story short, he walks in the room. He's part of that business too. Little do I know, I have no idea what I'm doing. But this man walks in and I feel and I hear is like, that's your husband. And I'm thinking, come on, like, what's wrong with me? Like, I got to get it together. Like, what is going on? Right. But the truth is, I knew that that was my husband. And I'd never been married, and I was like 35 at the time, maybe right around there. And I'm just like, okay, this is crazy. Well, come to find out, he wasn't quite ready for a relationship yet. And I was like, had this big crush on this guy. And I'm just like, oh man, what's going to happen here? So we became really, really great friends. And we actually grew our businesses in that space together. We had big wins. We replaced our revenue, earned cars, go on trips, all this cool stuff. And we did it together, but we were just friends. We were just like best friends. And we supported one another and we helped each other. And so we've done business together since like literally the moment that we met.
Yeah.
And we shifted gears into coaching a couple years later because we were kind of like personal development, inspirational leaders in this business where our team wasn't really looking for that. They were looking at how to sell more of these products and how to make money. And we were like, wanted to speak on stage and inspire and change people's lives with all these crazy quantum ideas. And so it was just kind of natural. We shifted into coaching. We struggled at first, really, really struggled to sell that coaching and to like stretch into that space. The real cool part of the story is that we hired coaches, which terrified me. And it was one of those monumental business moments that I love hearing when people share moments like this. My husband learned about high ticket coaching and he found these guys that had all these tools that would solve all these problems to the marketing that we were trying to solve.
Yeah.
And so he gets on a call and he decides he wants to work with these guys. And I'm like, wait, what is this? Like, people exchange that much cash for like what? What's the thing we're buying here?
Right.
And so we get on, he gets me on, and long story short, again, is that we sent like every dollar we had to this coach. And it was like quadruple payment plan, like 4 months of commitment. And we sent the rent to this guy who was
really.
Yeah, we did. And he was our first coach and he's incredible. And I was so scared. But again, I follow my heart and I make decisions. And I'm not saying that like in any situation that would have been the right move.
Yeah.
But thankfully in this one it was. And it made me stretch. It made me finally like go all in on what I wanted to do and get closer to leaving the 9 to 5, which was what I wanted to do.
Right.
But we sent the rent to him. We called the office. We postponed the rent. We drove to the Mexican restaurant to celebrate because we know that we got to ground in those, big changes. And I cried all the way there. And, and then, within 6 weeks, we made like a year's worth of revenue. Honestly, it was intense. It was so cool, so crazy.
Wow.
And it was such a roller coaster that like I've never looked back from that day, and a lot's happened, but that was like the pivotal moment and really like the way we got started.
Wow. That's an amazing story in itself, because there's so many points to touch on. And so now you and your now husband, y'all actually in business together. You're both coaches. So you're, really, since you built that foundation upon that friendship, it makes it so much easier. I'm quite sure it makes it easier for you to really, navigate through marriage and owning a business and working together, even now, I mean, you might still have, the things that happen or whatever, but it's all about how you handle those things. So that's really awesome. And then for you to really like just step out, even though you were crying, like kicking and screaming on the way, you're like, oh my gosh, like what, I feel this thing, I know it, but then it's like, ooh, do I really want to make this move? So many people go through those challenging moments like that. And for you to really touch on that, that's a real space. A lot of people, we hear about the wins all the time. But what about those moments to get you to that point? Or in your case, it was that one moment. That you saw the generating results afterwards, like soon after. But there's some people that still might have, maybe a couple of moments in between. And then they hit that point, where they're like, oh my gosh, why was I ever, fretting about moving forward in this? So I really do love the fact that, you really pulled out so much. And, especially with us women, we look at things in a way that is like, yes, we have to have it all together. We're handling the kids, we handling the spouses, and jobs, business, money, everything, you name it. But that one thing that falls apart, even though we have a cape on, our superwoman syndrome, but yet we still don't feel the kryptonite that's coming up, and we still think we're strong. So with the clients that you work with, and the business strategies, and I know that you do a lot with mindset, how do you really like forge that together and really make it work cohesively?
That's a beautiful question. The short answer is that everyone's different. And so I have a unique kind of open door policy with clients. So in the coaching space, there's a lot of people talk about like, you got to have really good boundaries and only be available 3 days a week or hours and this and that. And I've never taken that on. I've always just approached coaching as a way of life. And if a client has an issue or a question for me, I want them to ask me right now. And if it's 9 o'clock at night and I'm getting ready for bed and I see their message, chances are I'm going to answer it. And also if it's Saturday and I don't see it till Monday, that's fine. But I've always gone that way. And so how do you approach it? It's so different for everyone, because I might have 5 health coaches that are going through different problems. They coached in a different way. This one has a problem with an online thing. This one's got a problem with social media. This one's got a mindset. This one had a catastrophic family thing happen. And it's just all about helping people navigate in the very moment that they're in order to get that. And everyone gets the same end result, according to their level of belief. I really feel is like the most important thing. Again, these 5 coaches, one might believe that they can crush these huge numbers and just kill it in their business. And the other one might just not have that belief yet. And those results are going to reflect 2 different things. So the goal is to comfortably help this one stretch into a new level of thinking without, letting the bottom fall out, because maybe the way that I approached business that I just told you about would throw someone else totally off kilter. And so I'm not going to challenge them to go do that, but maybe this one's already running in that direction. So for me, it's just always been like open, honest, intuitive, in the moment coaching and approaching everyone different, just with their greatest outcome in mind, no matter what.
Yeah, that's good. And I like what you said. You said helping them to navigate through the moment. A lot of times we are so busy, looking ahead or looking back. A lot of times we do look back so many times, like, oh my gosh, if I had done this way, or, but when we were looking ahead, we're trying to plan, we were trying to make sure we don't make those same mistakes, anything like that. And sometimes we can miss the present moment. There's such I don't even know the name of the author for this book, but there is a book called The Power of Now. And, so when you're really thinking about that state of being in this moment right here, it's like, okay, then what do you do? And so many people miss that point because, like you said, there could be so many things happening in their personal lives that's overflowing in their business life.
Oh, yeah.
And how to manage and really how to handle that. And the belief is everything. And everything you're touching on, like between this week and last week, I've seen so many people post so many different things, and to where, you know, you just wonder like what's in the air right now that everybody is kind of experiencing some type of setback, or, you know, that burnout. I've seen people say, look, I'm trying to hold on. You
Mhm.
know, I'm on the edge of throwing in the towel, or, you know, there,
Yep.
I mean, it's just been so many people across the board.
Yeah.
And, you know, so what would you say? And these are business owners.
Hmm.
So if somebody approached you in that manner, and you know, what would be your strategy to really apply to them or help them to navigate through?
I love this question because if I wasn't feeling the same way last week, I wouldn't be like qualified to do this job. You know what I mean? And if I
Exactly.
hadn't felt that way with every weird, random, whatever cycle that's going on, and if I hadn't wanted to throw in the towel so many times, and to be honest with you, letting yourself throw in the towel will lead to a humongous breakthrough. You want to
Mm,
give up? Go ahead. Try it out. And if it
yeah.
takes 3 days for you to come back around and remember who you really are, then take the 3 days that you need to take, you
Yeah.
know? But ultimately, it's for me, it's I am divinely guided, protected, and cared for all the time. I'm divinely taken care of. Like
Mhm.
this work is just working through me. I'm not necessarily the one that pays my bills. I'm not necessarily the one that's attracting the next client or saying the right thing to the right person at whatever time. I'm just
Mhm.
a vehicle for the message because I truly believe that I've always made it through.
Mhm.
I've never, I've had really hard challenges in my life,
Mhm.
but I'm still here and I'm still making it happen. So there's something much greater than me that's driving all of that. And I know deep, 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 deep down that no
Mhm.
matter what happens, I'll be okay. I trust myself to do
Mhm.
whatever it takes in every moment. And that's how I've found the present moment because, you know, to be totally honest with you, I'm kind of a overthinker. I'm an overthinker. I would
Mhm.
have said I'm a worrier because my family says that like I come from a family who naturally kind of like worries about things and obsesses over things and I try to control things. I'd like to have a lot longer couple years mapped out and know exactly what's going on, but that's just not
Yeah.
the way it's been, you know? And so
Mhm.
I've had to just remind myself that I trust myself, that
Mhm.
no matter what happens, I'll choose the higher road and I'll do the right thing and I'll take care of myself and I'll do whatever it takes. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah. Yeah, that's really good. And to have that level of belief, that's a big part. I feel
Mhm.
like business owners, when they get to that place, like you said, you have to remember who you are. One
Yeah.
of the things that I always say is when I'm working with clients or anything like that, is you have to look at your purpose being greater than your fear. And
Ooh.
when your purpose is greater than your fear, then which one are you going to choose? You know,
Mm.
and that came about because I had to look at myself, you know, and I had to get to a place where I'm just like, okay, Sasha, is your purpose greater than your fear? And when I asked myself that question, I just started throwing it out there to everybody because I feel like whatever comes to you to get yourself in check, and if it's good for you, it's good for everybody else, you
Mhm.
know. And so it's just like when people forget who they are, they tend not to even think about even trusting themselves. They'll second guess their decisions. They'll second guess, you know, is this the right idea for me to do? Is this, you know, all those different type of thoughts just go through their head.
Mhm.
And, you know, being able to, like what you just said, is so powerful. And being able to really see that for yourself and to trust yourself and to go forth in the moment, you know, that's everything because you don't know what's on the other side,
Mhm.
you know, if you don't show up for it, you know.
Exactly.
Yeah. So let's say with the pandemic, you know, being
Mhm.
that the pandemic had, it just rocked so many people. How many businesses or business owners or women that you've been working with that had some type of setback from it, and, you know, even mental setback because what has happened is just as much as a business setback, and how you've helped them, you know, overcome?
That's a great question because my initial answer is, and we'll see if this changes as these words come out of my mouth, but the truth is a lot of the people that we help
Mhm.
actually stepped into their purpose during that time out of necessity and they started doing businesses that they were afraid to do before. And whatever setback they faced, then push them into their purpose. And then
Mm.
those kind of people start looking around for people like us, because they realize, I want to coach in this area. I want to sell this thing or create this thing. And then they're heart-centered women, like we mentioned.
Mhm.
And then, oh no, I have to be a marketer. Like, wait a second. Wait, this whole social, I can't just post a couple times on social and then just sell a bunch of things like, oh crap, there's a problem. Now I have to find help how to do this. And so for us, it was kind of a beautiful time business-wise, because a lot of people came to us with a hope and a dream and an idea, but they just needed a plan and a strategy.
Mm-hmm.
So we were able to help them build that plan and strategy, and then support them as they kind of threw it out there and got their feet wet. And then all the mindset challenges came up, and then everything like that happened. And then more people came on the scene in our world. And then, so our clients would say like, oh, it's saturated now, and there's more challenges, and marketing got even harder because now there's more people and everybody knows what everyone's doing. And so I'll tell you what, marketing and social media marketing has definitely gotten a lot more advanced over the past few years.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the answer to that for now, is that directly related to the pandemic. I watched it help a lot of people step into the purpose that they were always like one toe in.
Mm-hmm.
And then it was like, oh, gonna work from home or don't have a job anymore. Now let's figure it out and make it work.
Right. You just got to go all in, take that one toe and just say, I'm just going to jump in. It's like almost being at the beach. It's like, okay, it's a cold. You want to tip in for a little bit, but the only way to get used to it is if you just go ahead and just dunk yourself in and just, get over it.
Right. It's
So
going to be cold.
Exactly. So with that, I know we touched on a lot of the mindset part of it.
Yeah.
So what, when it comes down to the strategies, what are your top strategies? Well, not to go into too much, giving all your secrets away, but what are the main two strategies that you would say are important for business owners to really grasp a hold onto?
Okay, amazing. One is really hone in on what you love and what you want your business to look like. And I'll elaborate a little bit. There's a million things you can do, right? There's so many social media platforms. There's email, there's funnels, there's ads, there's no ads, there's this, that, the other thing. And no matter what, if you don't hone in on what you really want to do first, then no matter what you put where you put it, you're not going to enjoy it.
Right.
So that's thing number one, is that take the time to sit down and look and say, like, how much time do I really want to spend on this? Do I want to spend some money instead of some time? How do I want to deliver? What kind of people do I want to work with? Or what kind of product do I want to sell? Really look forward into the future and think about what it's going to take to do that in the long term, and make sure you're solid on what you really want before you just start throwing things out there. Because my next tip is going to be consistent and show up however you choose to do it. Continue to be consistent. Build the business around your own personality instead of what somebody else is telling you to do. And I'll go a little deeper on that too. Yeah. So for me, I like to speak and I like to share and I like to show up, and I can have a longer conversation or just go live and share for a while. So if I'm good at that and I love that, then why am I going to force myself to sit down and write and type things out and promote things in a written format or an audio format if I actually really love showing up and looking at people and being with people?
Right.
But everyone's different. So you have to figure out what yours is. And then if you can, repurpose that content. So maybe I'll make a video and then I'll cut a little snippet out of it and then I'll share it across social media. And that takes a little while to learn. But the point is that you've started with the thing that you're good at and the thing that you really love the most, instead of just following someone else's strategy because they might not be cut from the same cloth as you.
Yes, I love that. Because I've been asked a question, before, as far as what happens when how do they pose it? What happens when your business doesn't work because you're following somebody else's strategies?
Oh, yeah.
And by you even, touching on that right now, it's just like, it can't, because when you're looking at number one, you don't even know what they're going through to even get to what you see.
Totally.
because a lot of it, there's a lot of facade out there and there's a lot of realness.
Yeah,
You don't know which one you're seeing.
that's right.
You just see the results.
Yep.
But like you said, if you're doing what you love and then you're having it wrapped around your personality, it's your strengths that's going to come out, that's going to help mold and shape what you have, along with strategies, along with planning. But you're making it comfortable for you and easy for yourself to navigate through it. So, I mean, that's really, really powerful to what you just said because, everybody's out there. I hope you're listening and really taking this in because Amber is up here dropping a lot of gems. She's dropping a lot of gems, but, it's so good to hear this because a lot of times people can be so, they're moving at fast pace in
Yeah.
business and they're working in their business, working on their business, and they're still trying to figure out like, why isn't it working? You left
Mhm.
yourself out of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I love to
Yeah.
say that, when you start a business, that business is a reflection of who you are.
Mhm.
When we go to set up our incorporation, they say, what is your business entity? When
Yeah.
you're looking at an entity is something that is a life,
Yep.
whether it's artificial or as humans. But when you're creating that business, you're breathing the essence of who you are inside that business.
Mhm.
So the best thing to do is set it up around yourself so you can easily navigate. I mean, because then it's easy. It's a piece of
Yeah.
cake. Like when for me, I love to use myself as an example. With this whole podcast thing, the podcast is a result of the pandemic. For
There
me,
you go.
because the pandemic, we touched on it a lot. I'm sitting here listening, like, oh, okay, we really talked just a little bit, but she peeping around the corner on social media, checking me out, whatever. But the pandemic really did, it birthed a newness in for me. And so the podcast is speaking all these other things. And it's just like, I didn't see myself doing this before. I couldn't imagine myself doing this before.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it still allows my personality to come out.
Mhm.
And I still just make it what it is. I just make it me. And so when
Mhm.
people can look at that at their own business, like you said, just make it yourself and do the best that you are in it and let it grow. I really love
Mhm.
that. I really love that. Wow, Amber. I'm glad you're here tonight.
I'm so happy to be here tonight.
I'm glad you're here. Wow, this is amazing. So, yeah, because you got me stomped on questions right now, just like in this moment. You're the first person that had me stomped. But
Mm.
I really do. I love this. I love this. And people out there, I want you to make sure that you follow Amber because she has a plethora of information out there, all on her social media pages, whether it's Facebook,
Mhm.
Instagram, and I gotta have you back.
I would
'Cause
love it.
I think we just only scratched the surface.
We did.
Yeah. You're like, oh yes, we did.
Yep.
We haven't even
Yep.
got deep on this yet.
Sometimes, I mean, you just click with some people, and that's
Yeah.
how I feel here. And so I'd love to just go dive deeper. There's different avenues to all this stuff.
Yeah, it is. It is. Now, one thing I do want you to touch on, because a lot of times people do hear about, the heart centered,
Yeah.
and you hear that, but maybe some people don't really understand. Like, what does that
Mm.
really mean? What does it mean to be heart centered in
Mm.
business or you're heart centered with your client? So if you could kind of touch on that a little bit, that would be great.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one. So I've used that term for a long time, just like without even really thinking too much about it. But the truth is, when you ask me what that means, the first thing that comes up is that these are the type of people that don't necessarily feel really comfortable
Mhm.
selling at first.
Mm,
Like they want to step in out in the world. They're willing to put themselves out there. They have some gifts to give. They love to help people so much. Maybe they don't even charge enough for what they're doing because they're such givers.
yeah.
But then they muster it up and they're ready to do it and they're really ready to create a business and step up and be
Yeah.
the best version of themselves. And then they're like, I have to sell stuff and I have to have these hard conversations and it
Mhm.
doesn't really feel comfortable at first. And so what that means to me is learning how to approach business from more of a feminine energy than a masculine energy, because we think of like the door-to-door salesman or the cold call guy, or you go to buy something and there's people that are like, I'm going to sell this thing to you.
Yeah.
And then there's women that are like, I don't ever, ever, ever want to sound like that. And so how do I actually sell effectively in any space, but especially in the high ticket space? Because that's who I help the most. So I'm helping people sell big things that they've never maybe said that number before. Kind of like when I invested in my first coach, and I'm like, people sell this stuff. So for me, that is really about sinking into the heart, being real, knowing the value of what you give, really being like grounded, confident, and just like really rock solid with, if you buy this thing or if I help you with this thing, this is the result we're going to get. And no matter what, I'm with you. Like, I'm all yours. We're going to go through this together. And then selling from that space as well, so that the person on the other end can make their own decision whether they want to purchase something. And you as the coach can just be in that easy breezy feminine, we'll just like see what happens energy, trusting and believing that you're always taken care of. And when you approach business from that space, from my opinion, truly from that space where you want what's best for the other person, then the other person oftentimes wants to do business with you.
That's good. That's good. Yeah, that's really good. I love that. And it makes it easier, when
Much
you're really
easier.
operating in that standpoint. And because you're allowing yourself to really flow.
Totally.
And then that interchanging back and forth, the person can feel comfortable. I was somewhere before, and I think it was a conference, and this one young lady, I was speaking, and one lady came back and she said, how do you trust other people? Like, she wanted a coach.
Yeah.
She asked a question, how do you begin to trust other people? So that's another issue that people don't touch on, because it is a trust thing. You have so many stories out here. You have coaches that are excellent. They're there and they're about their work, they're about their word. But then you have some people have actually gotten burnt by, business partners, coaches, or they just have a issue with trusting people, period, from something else, that has nothing to do with business, but it carries over, because who you are is going to carry over, in anything, so if you saying that, it really does kind of help to show a person like, yeah, you can trust me. It's just like, I hate to use this analogy, but it's just like thinking about dogs. We see these videos with dogs, they're battered, they've been displaced and everything, but dogs are one of the most trusting animals out here. And you see the dogs just like, they're all, tight wide and growling and stuff. And
That's
then
my dog.
That's your dog?
Yes. 100%. He's been burned before, and that was a long time ago. He still carries it around,
Oh gosh.
Yeah. No joke. I'm not kidding.
But the thing is, it's like, people, we're all the same way, and when you're easygoing and about, just allow that to flow, and you see the changes, when that one person is just taking their time and they're just allowing them to, they just relax, you let the dog come to you, or not saying people are dogs, but I just like to use that correlation, because when we're thinking about trust and we're thinking about business, it's like, oh, what do we do? Where we go? Like, even with you and in the story that you gave earlier, you believed enough, you trusted yourself enough, but then you still had to be at a place to be comfortable with trusting that coach that you would give your money to, and so it's just like, it's something that you just have to know, and really believe yourself and go forward in it. But I mean, I just love everything that you're. Yes, we're gonna have to bring you back.
I would love it.
We're gonna have to. But thank you so much. But before we go, I want to put your information up here. I know that you're on Facebook and Instagram. If you have a website, you can just go ahead and throw it out there, let the people know. If you want people to connect with you on your website, you can tell the people what it is, and I'll make sure it's in the description of everything.
Perfect. It's amberfrelin.com.
Okay.
Just like my name. And there's some really cool giveaways on there. That website just offers a lot of resources for people, some that are really unique and cool, some really deep mindset stuff.
All
Yeah.
right. Okay, you
Have
guys.
fun there.
You better get up there. Yeah, go ahead to Amber Free. I mean, that is such an easy amberfreelin.com.
Yep.
There's name, how you spell her name, but go and see what the freebies are. Get in with it and get in contact with Amber. Amber, thank you so much for being here. This has been such a pleasure.
Same here. Thank you.
You're welcome. You just stand back. I'll be right back with you.
All right. Sounds good.
Alrighty. Okay, everybody. I hope you enjoyed our interview tonight with Amber. She gave some really good information, but make sure you visit her website, amberfreelin.com. Check it out, get in contact with her, check out the freebies. And I thank you for just even watching tonight. Make sure you share this with other people as well. And if you want to be on the show and you want to be interviewed on the According to Sacha podcast, there's the email right here, according to, that's the number 2, Sacha@gmail.com. And that's according to SACHA @gmail.com. And we'll get you scheduled for our 3rd or 4th season. We have one more show for the 2nd season, which is next Thursday. And then we'll be off for September. That's my birthday month, so I got to take the whole month off. And I'll be back with you in October for our 3rd season. And then we'll wrap up with the holidays and come back for the 4th season. So if you want to be on any one of those seasons, reach out to us and we'll get you scheduled. And then also, if you're interested in being a show sponsor, then you can also email us and let us know that you're interested in it, and we'll get you the information as well. We have some amazing things coming up, especially for 2023. We got some exciting things, some more things to add to what we're doing with our programming, and I'm excited about it, and I hope you guys are going to be excited too, but I'm not going to let it out right now. But I definitely want you to, if you're following me, I almost forgot about this. If you're following me already, I have submitted my proposal or for my workshop for South by Southwest. It is beyond the creation. You know how I feel about entrepreneurs and creatives. Creatives are entrepreneurs, but they don't manage themselves as such. But I have a workshop to teach them that way. And I want you to go out and vote for my workshop. We got until the 21st of August to get these votes in. That's what South by Southwest do. You got to vote us in first. And so help me get this workshop before the people, okay? And but yeah, so everything else will be on my Facebook page and Instagram, wherever you follow me at. I'll keep you abreast of everything. But remember to be great in everything you do and command your day. And I thank you so much for everything you have done for us in this platform, according to Sacha. And I will see you next Thursday. Bye.